Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wabihi nasta'in. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Honorable Tan Sri Dr. Said Hamid bin Tan Sri Said Jafar Albar, former Minister Foreign Affairs of Malaysia. Honorable Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Rector of IIUM, respected members of UMC, deans, directors, senior officials of IIUM, invited guests from Friends of Palestine, brothers and sisters. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning I bid to all. In order to invoke the blessings of Allah the Almighty, let us first recite the Kitab and at the same time dedicate our recitations to the martyrs of Palestine. Al-Fatiha. May Allah bless their souls and grant them the highest place in His Jannah. Honorable Tan Sri, brothers and sisters, we are here today to witness the flag-raising ceremony for Palestine, a very significant gesture to show our support and solidarity to our brothers and sisters in the sacred land of Palestine. They who have endured 6 decades of ethnic cleansing, genocide, war crime, atrocities, and systemic apartheid against the Palestinian Muslims, Christians, and Arabs, committed by a terrorist regime empowered by the United States of America. Honorable Tan Sri, brothers and sisters, before we proceed with the flag-raising ceremony, let us first listen to a very special message delivered by our brother Ubadah Kamal Yassin from Palestine, whose family are now in Jerusalem. Without further ado, I would like to invite him to the stage. Please welcome.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I get started my speech, I would like to send my sincere appreciation to all of you who make us to do this event and to success, inshallah. Thank you too to Tan Sri Dr. Sayyid Hamid bin Tan Sri Sayyid Jafar Albar, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs Malaysia, Prof. Emeritus Datu, Dr. Zulkifli bin Tan Sri Datu Zulkifli Abdul Razak, the Honorable Rector of IIUM, the Associate Professor of, which is the Deputy Rector, Dr. Zulkifli bin Hassan, for attending and participating in this flag-raising ceremony for Palestine to support our brothers and sisters in Palestine. As we know, it's not only the flag-raising that we can support. We can do much more things, inshallah. Yesterday was the 73rd anniversary of Nakba, which is the ethnic cleansing campaign that carried out during the creation of Israel. Between 1947 and 1948, more than 750,000 Palestinians was expelled by the Zionist militias to make the way for the establishment of Israel. More than 400 Palestinian cities and towns were systematically destroyed and occupied. Until now, more than 7 million Palestinian refugees are scattered around the world, many still in camps. The ethnic cleansing is still happening in all the lands in Palestine, with ongoing evictions, home demolitions, and also the illegal settlements constructions. The last ethnic cleansing is happening nowadays in Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood in Al-Quds, the capital city of Palestine. More than 500 Palestinian citizens now facing a court decision by the Israeli court to vacate their homes and houses and leave it to the Zionist settlers. And also the continued attacks on Al-Aqsa Mosque, starting from the holy month of Ramadan, and still happening until now. And also, as we can see now and watch in the news, what's happening in Gaza and the non-stop bombing there. The Israeli army doesn't differentiate between and their targets only based on the women and kids. The clashes between the Israeli army and the Palestinians now happening in Al-Quds, the 48 occupied lands, the West Bank and Gaza Strip also. Until now only, in Gaza Strip and the West Bank, there are 209 murders, 89 of them from the children and women, and 5,687 get injured. Also in Al-Quds, there is more than 1,000 who get injured until now. Until now, most of the world leaders remain silent and not denounce what's happening in Palestine. The Palestinian people are still fighting the weapons and the tanks of the Israeli army, but Allah with them, and He will not leave them alone. But the question is how we can help our brothers and sisters in Palestine. As we know now, the effect of the social media is huge and big nowadays. And many of the Palestinian youths from Al-Quds specifically start to spread the awareness about what's happening in Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood. They let the world know the current situation there and what's happening every day. It's a must for each one of us to support. At least if you cannot lift the injustice, just let everyone know about it. And here from Malaysia, we can support them by spreading the awareness among our community, and also to let the whole world know what's happening every day in Palestine, in Al-Quds, in Sheikh Jarrah, and also in Gaza. Last but not least, do not tire of supporting our brothers and sisters in Palestine. And all of us must keep our first Qibla and Palestine in our prayers. And as Allah said in Al-Quran, Surah Muhammad, verse 7, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن تنصروا الله ينصركم ويثبت أقدامكم صدق الله العظيم. As a representative of Student Union, I would like to convey that we totally support the resilience of the Palestinian people and urge all the students to spread the awareness and to share the truth. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Brother Umbada. As the Prophet said, Al-Mu'min lil-Mu'min kal-bunyan yashuddu ba'dahu ba'dah. We feel the pain, and today we are here to show the solidarity. And now we shall invite the Honorable Rector of IIUM, Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, to deliver his speech. Please, sir.
Terima kasih. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalam syafil anbiya mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. La haula wa la quwwata illa billah. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Said Hamid Alba, mantan Foreign Minister dan juga adjunct Professor IUM, colleagues from IUM, brothers and sisters. Let us thank Allah SWT for giving us this opportunity, although it's rather late in the day, to show our solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Palestine and indeed in everywhere where they are being oppressed. We think this is a very important moment for the university to make a statement of what the university is all about, beyond just academics and also intellectual activities. It becomes incumbent upon us to wake up and make sure that this university represents what the values of this university is all about. In that respect, I would like to thank the International Institute of Muslim Unity for taking up this challenge to organize a very simple, yet I hope a meaningful symbol that we are together with people who are oppressed around the world, particularly today, the Palestinians in Gaza in particular. This is a moment for us to reflect and say, what else can we do as far as this university is concerned, when we talk about words like Amanah, Khalifa, Ikram, and Rahmatan lil Alamin. All these words need to be translated into action rather than just rhetorics and talking about it. We've been talking about it for a long time. Maybe it is the time for us to demonstrate what else this university can do. I really resonate with what the student leader was saying, that it is time for us to educate ourselves, that this issue is not a religious issue per se. This issue is not an ethnic issue per se. It is an issue of humanity. It is an issue of dignity and also humanitarian values, regardless of creed, race, and color, that we need to come together and define ourselves as the people who will work for the Rahmatan lil Alamin. By now, I think there are more than 200 deaths around Palestine alone, given the aggression of the Zionist regime. And certainly, this is an asymmetrical war, a war that is almost unequal, people throwing stones to the other when they have got the most sophisticated weapons supplied by the United States of America. Joe Biden say America is back. Yes, it is back. Back for what? Is it for the betterment of the world, or is he going to continue the legacy of his predecessor, Donald Trump, the way he has been handling the case so far? These are issues for us to work on, and I hope we can do this well, inshallah, as a university that is responsible not only for itself, but also for the world at large. On that note, let me thank also the student union for taking this up. And let's also reflect how lucky we are in this university. I know there are things that may not be as good as what you wanted, but let's look at Palestine, let's look at other places around the world, that we can be so lucky that we are here in a peaceful state, and yet we are not doing much as far as the things that is given around us. So this is the time for reflection, a time for us to recall what we need to do. We've just finished the training of Ramadan, and I hope that Ramadan is within us, and let's take this Ramadan out and make it happen so that the world can be a better place in the way that we want it as far as IUM is concerned. I'd like to thank all of you, particularly Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri, for coming at a very short notice, and also for giving us the confidence that what we are doing is surely on the right track. Coming from a very experienced foreign minister, very well respected in the Muslim world and also internationally, I think we are very lucky to get his advice. And we will pursue not only the question of Palestine, but all questions of minorities around the world, that this university will then hopefully start a kind of a seminar, an educational process that we are talking about how to help them and to make them a better human being, as in the vision of the university, increasing human quality and also civilization. On that note, let's pray to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala that this morning, given the blessed rain this morning, that we are blessed and we are given the courage to make something which is of significance so that this university will hold itself proud that we have contributed significantly to Rahmatan lil Alamin and humanity at large. On that note, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And thank you.
Thank you, Tan Sri, for the speech. Distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, to add further grace to our ceremony today, we shall now invite our distinguished guest, Tan Sri Dr. Said Hamid bin Tan Sri Said Jafar Albar, to deliver his keynote speech. Please welcome.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Our respected Rector, Tan Sri Datuk Professor Emeritus Abdul Razak, Zulkifli bin Abdul Razak, our President of the Palestinian Student Union, distinguished members of the faculty of the International Islamic University Malaysia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to begin by stating Alhamdulillah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of His grace and blessing that we are able to gather, though in a small number, at this important and symbolic ceremony to show and indicate our commitment and our belief in upholding the three important issues in our life. There is issue of humanity, issue of justice, and issue of right and wrong. This is why we are gathered here, not for an emotional purpose. We are not here in order to shout, but we are here to say, enough is enough for us to keep on distorting history. Enough is enough for us to propagate falsehood, but to see the reality that is confronting us. This is not an issue of small or big nations. It is an issue that is involved, issues involving law, involving the right of a fellow human being to live in his own country, in his own land. And it would be a bit odd if we do not support the Palestinian cause. This raising of the flag ceremony, some people say that we are supporting a cause that is based on emotions, that is based because we are Muslim, as mentioned by the Tan Sri Rector just now, and also by our brother, Palestinian brother, that this is not an issue of Muslim, issue of Christian, issue of Jew. This is not an issue of we are against Israel. We cannot be against Israel because Israel is the name of our Prophet alayhi salam, Yaqub. You are against Zionist movement that has committed atrocious crimes by displacement of people, which amount to ethnic cleansing, amount to genocide. You burn my house. You kill my mother. You kill my father, according to Chomsky. You take away my land. You evict me forcefully. And then we see that we have the right of self-defense. I think this is something that we cannot accept. Right of self-defense, yes, there is such a right under international law, but that right is reciprocal. It's a right of both ways. The Palestinians have a right to defend themselves. They have been associated with the land for thousands of years. You cannot say that this is no longer Palestinian land. We want to make sure that we change it to make the whole place look good. It doesn't happen by starting. I feel very touched and emotional when people say, stop the rocket. I'm all for peace. I'm all for people to get together and live together. But I think what is most important is it does not happen as a matter of we want to bomb Israel or we want to shoot rockets to Israel. It happens over 7 decades of oppression, injustice, ethnic cleansing, genocide. And it will be unfortunate for the unbalanced disequilibrium that is created in the international order and international system. But I want to tell my Palestinian brothers and all our Muslim brothers that this is a time that we must be able to help ourselves. This is a time, it is for us to show that we are united for a cause that has got value and a cause that has got meaning in order to give people respect, dignity that will bring everybody together. And we are not going to be helped unless we force that unity and consolidate our position. I don't know, I'm not so sure, but I think this time we are lucky. The social media is playing a very big role. We are seeing that now academics, civil activists, NGOs, newscasters openly speak on behalf of the Palestinian cause. The distortions cannot continue. The falsehood will not be able to be portrayed anymore. But we are getting the real story of what is happening. So there is more awareness, whether in the US, the government may be different, but the people on the street speak the language of Palestine. They demand that Palestinians should be given the same right to exist, and all these crimes against humanity must stop. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm very proud and thankful to be associated. I have been associated with the Palestinian cause for a long time. And I hope that we will continue to have the spirit and the willingness. I congratulate the university for taking the initiative. Tan Sri Zul and his team, Professor Walid and the associate professors have been quite passionate about this issue. And I think, inshallah, with Allah's blessing, there are two things only now we need to do. We must make sure, not only material, we must make sure we continue to dua. We must make sure that we continue to say our words and to say our peace. People have to hear, people have to know. Inshallah, if we do not give up, we persevere, God will grant us the success that we are looking for. Don't worry about the big powers. We just must worry about ourselves, our dignity. And it is important that the Muslim now must be able to provide and show the world that it cares for humanity, justice, and it is against oppression. And let us set aside whatever our beliefs in. Muslims have been known, whether Muslim, Christian, Jews have always lived in peace under the Muslim era, the golden era of Islam, under the Osmania. The Jews have always got the protection of the Muslim. I think I like finally to say that I am very touched that I'm asked to come. I was not prepared to come because I'm not so sure about whether I'm doing the right thing or not in terms of our own law. But I think because they are able to persuade me to come, I come because I believe that it is for the right cause, it is for the right act for us to do, and we should do it together. So once again, thank you, congratulations, and inshallah, God will bless our efforts, and inshallah, we will achieve the success that we are seeking for. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Tan Sri Dr. Said Hamid, for the speech. Inshallah, we shall continue to pray for our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Brothers and sisters, we have arrived. Brothers and sisters, we have arrived to the most awaited event, the flag raising ceremony. For that, I would like to call upon Brother Obaida Kamal Yassin, the representative of IIUM Student Union, to hand over the Palestinian flag to the Honorable Tan Sri Dr. Said Hamid, who will then pass the flag to Tuan Sharul, our Chief Security Officer. I would like to invite Tuan Sharul to receive the flag from Tan Sri Said. Brothers and sisters, first, the Malaysian anthem. And now, the Palestinian anthem. Warrior, may the warriors of Palestine emerge victorious. Before we end, I shall now invite Al-Fadil Ustaz Ramadan Subki to recite the dua. فليتفضل.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا وعن والدينا وعن جميع المسلمين والمسلمات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Ya Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, grant us peace and iman, safety and Islam, and guidance to perform all that you please. Ya Allah, we ask you for your help and beg forgiveness of you, and we are not ungrateful to you. We believe in you and forsake him who disobey you. Ya Allah, you alone we worship, and for you we pray and prostrate, and for your sake we strive. We hope for your mercy and fear your punishment. Your punishment will certainly reach the disbelievers. Allahumma aslih ahwal al-muslimin fi Palestine. Allahumma aslih ahwal al-muslimin fi Palestine wa fi kulli makan ya dhal jalal wal ikram. Allahumma la taj'al al-kuffari alayna sabila. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min jahd al-bala wa dark al-shaqa wa su' al-qada wa shamatat al-a'da. Ya Allah, Lord of mercy, of majesty and bounty, rectify the affairs of the Muslim in Palestine. Ya Allah, rectify the affairs of the Muslims in Palestine and in every place. Ya Allah, do not grant a disbeliever any way to harm us. Ya Allah, we seek refuge in you from bad decree, being overtaken by misery and the gloats of the enemies and the pains of afflictions. And we seek refuge in you from the disliked manners, deeds, desire, and disease. Allahumma inna naj'aluka fi nuhuri a'da'ina wa na'udhu bika min shururihim. Allahumma baddid shamlahum wa farriq jam'ahum wa shattit kalimatahum wa zalzil aqdamahum wa sallit alayhim kalban min kilabik. Ya Qahhar, Ya Jabbar, Ya Muntaqim, Ya Allah. Allahumma ya munzil al-kitab wa ya mujri as-sahaba ويا هازم الأحزاب اهزمهم يا الله وانصرنا عليهم. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. تقبل الله منا ومنكم.
Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Before we disperse, we shall now have a photography session. As a sign of appreciation to our distinguished guest, I would like to invite Tan Sri Dato' Zulkifli Abdul Razak, our rector, to deliver a token of appreciation to our respected guest, Tan Sri Dr. Said Hamid. Honorable guests, brothers and sisters, we have come to an end of our event today. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank everyone who is present physically and virtually. To our brothers and sisters in Palestine, Lynn and all of our friends in Palestine, we are with you in this fight against this hideous act of atrocities. As brothers and sisters in Islam, we pledge our support and solidarity towards our Palestinians in defending the country, the sacred land of Palestine. With that, let's end our ceremony today with Surah Al-Asr and Tashrif Kafarah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.